to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I try to help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And I'm happy to have
It's close.
Stuart Barker. That's it. I'm sorry.
With Sean Miner.
Yeah, with Sean Miner. There, that threw me off when we were talking. Stuart Barker, who used to be a game show host, and now is a web. No, I'm just kidding, Mikey. Doesn't that sound like a game show host name?
Sounds like a great name.
It's great. Yeah. What's it? The Price is Right with Stuart Barker. Doesn't that sound perfect?
Perfect.
Yeah, so if, anyway. Thanks for coming, Stuart.
Thank you, Stan, for having
It's
me.
nice to meet you. And he is the West Sales Manager for Sean Miner.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
That entails a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
It sometimes feels like you're covering the whole country, but in reality I'm covering everything west of Mississippi. So 21 states, 20 states in addition to the great state of Washington.
All right. So you cover Texas. What are some of the...
Yeah, so basically, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, all the way up to the Dakotas. And then, going west, Iowa, geographically challenged here, help me out. But Iowa through to, Montana, Washington, and then all the way, California, obviously, Arizona, Nevada, you name it. So everything west of the Mississippi is me.
So how often are you married?
I am.
Okay.
That's probably why my marriage works, because I'm not there.
So
Love you, honey.
how often do you actually spend?
Typically we're gone, myself and my counterpart who covers the East, probably from late January all the way through the end of October. So this is actually my last official travel week of the year.
Okay.
So it can be 3 to 4 weeks out of the month. It can be as little as 2 weeks out of the month. All depending
Any
on.
kids?
I have 2 girls.
Oh yeah?
9 and 15.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why you travel too. 3 women in the same house?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of outnumbered, that's for sure.
That's what Pedro said when he came up. He said, that's why I travel.
Outnumbered for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
it's been a great year.
Yeah.
So, and it's great to be here.
Well, now with all the technology, you probably have your iPad out and you talk to your girls.
We FaceTime most evenings and check in, and everybody discusses their day, and that's a great way of communicating.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
So tell us a little bit about the Sean Miner, his assistant winemaker, what their vision is.
Yeah, you may have been to the website. Despite Sean's youthful looks, he's been in the business about 25 years. His start was a BV in Rutherford.
Okay.
He did attend UC Davis. He was recruited by King Estate, I think in the early 90s. So he had 5 vintages to King Estate as general manager, and 3 years at Benton Lane, also in the Willamette Valley. Okay. Came back to California, ran Renwood, I think for 4 years. Did some consultancy work, and in 2005 he founded Four Bears Winery. So Four Bears is actually a reference to his 4 children. Okay. You can see that's our LLC name.
Okay, gotcha.
And just in case he forgets his children's names, his initials, the initials I should say, the children are on the back: Nick, L, Jack, and Charlie. So a very family-focused company. And what we have today is sort of an amalgamation of both tiers. So we have 2 wines from the Four Bears, and we also have 2 wines from our Sean Miner tier, which is our premium series that we introduced in 2009. You mentioned our consulting winemaker. Yes, there is a connection with King Estate. Our consulting winemaker, Will Buckland, who's been with us since inception in 2005, was the head winemaker at King Estate for 15 years, and that's where he and Sean became friends.
Okay.
10-year-old winery now.
Wow.
So
How long have you been with them?
I've been with them almost 3 years.
3 years?
I was in the wholesale side before that for about 10 years.
Who'd you work for in wholesale?
I worked for a wonderful company called Moon Distributing in the great state of Arkansas.
Wow. How many SKUs did you have a big portfolio?
It was a pretty decent sized portfolio. Yeah. It was pretty heavy on the liquor side. It was a very old wholesale company, started after repeal of Prohibition, so big whiskey houses, most of them were then because Americans really weren't drinking that much wine. They started to get serious about a wine portfolio about 15 years ago.
Picked up Sean Miner.
We picked up Sean Miner really from the early days. And actually, the funny thing is, when you look at my numbers and my 21 states, Arkansas actually comes in as our second best state, as my second best state after California.
Go figure.
So it's a tough one, it's a head scratcher, I know, but near and dear to my heart, and 10 very happy years there. So that's a great wine drinking state.
Yeah?
And sometimes overlooked by other people, but we'll just
The
leave it at that.
Razorbacks, they drink wine.
The mighty Razorbacks,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Way to go, all right. So we're going to taste through, you said 2 4-barrel wines.
Yeah, we have our 2014 Sauvignon Blanc, we have our 2014 Simcoe Chardonnay, and then from the Champ Minor tier we have our 2012 Carneros Pinot Noir, and we're going to finish up with our Napa Valley Red Blend called Nicole Marie. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go.
Okay, and in Sean Miner now, he is not, I get the impression from just reading about him that he's not going to collect any moss. He's probably going to be doing things in the future too. I don't know any about that, but he just seems like the kind of guy that's going to keep progressing.
Yeah, I think lots of. I don't think we've grown too quickly in terms of new additions to the wines. We are in all 50 states. We have just released a line extension, which is our first in several years. We make a total of 8 wines, sometimes 9 if we do a limited release rosé vinegary.
Okay.
Which we can talk about in a second. So yeah, we're very heavily focused on our by the glass distribution nationally. That's where the majority of our business comes from.
Okay.
And independent fine wine retail.
Like my store.
Like your store.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's really where we want to be.
We do really well actually with your wines. We had a wine tasting event where we featured the Carneros. That's why I brought the Carneros in.
Perfect.
After the other one that now these are $11.99 you said? $8.39? Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be about $11.99.
Okay, $12
on the shelf. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He's got the big ass glass. He's
Yeah,
show off.
size matters.
Stand.
Now I feel more comfortable at the
Senator, cheers. All right, so tell us a little bit about the Sauvignon Blanc. What is he
So
trying
the
to
Sauvignon
obtain?
Blanc, we're really trying to produce a nice, soft, rounded, easy drinking Sauvignon Blanc. When I say soft, without taking away from that acidity. Our fruit source here is Sonoma Dry Creek and some Lake County fruit. So you can pick up a nice bit of that, touch of red grapefruit, the kiwi, and the passion fruit. We do ferment a small portion, very neutral French oak. And a little time on the leaves for
We're going to do a little close up with
a little that creamy character in the mid palate, really without taking away from the acid on the end.
Yeah. Good. All right. There you go. So $12. Now I have to tell you, just to be honest, I'm very critical of California Sauvignon Blanc because there's a lot of Napa Sauv Blancs out there that they're way overpriced. They don't deliver. And so whenever I taste one from California, although I do like Lake County fruit, they do some amazing Sauv Blancs. Jed Steele does a really good one up there, so I'm really curious to try this. But I like right off the bat, it has that kind of coconut pine needle nose, which is very
resiny texture.
What do you think, Mike? What are you getting on? Do you get that kind of coconut pine needle thing?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm walking through an orchard with the peach flowers and just a lot of fruit flowers. It's a very delicate but substantial information. It doesn't weigh heavy. You just feel very floral in it.
I always forget. Could you hit the switch on that mic just all the way up to the top? It just helps the sound. Sometimes my camcorder for some reason gets a little scratchy.
So I
got this mic. It just helps. I don't get any of that now that I have the microphone.
You just tried to turn all the mics off in the room earlier, Stan. That's what it was.
So now, does Sean Miner have a winemaking facility?
We use a facility.
Yeah, you use a facility.
We crush at a company called Sonoma Wine Company,
Yep.
Purple Wine Company. It's in American Canyon, so we're in Napa County.
Right.
So we pretty much crush, vinify, store the wine there.
Now, do you have, who is the one that actually travels to test the fruit? And
That would be
Fine.
Sean.
Sean does most of that?
Sean,
Yeah.
Will as well, of course.
Yeah.
We work with several growers. Bulk of our contract, the bulk of our sourcing is through contracts. Essentially, 3 to 5 year contracts typically.
What's the radius around your facility that you work with the fruit?
As far as a percentage goes,
How far away from your facility do you buy your?
we're going all the way down to the Central Coast.
Yeah.
The next wine we're going to try is actually predominantly from Monterey. We go as far south as Paso.
And you do some
All
Willamette
that.
Valley stuff?
We do some Willamette Valley as well.
Do you crush it there?
We crush it there, we vinify it there, we bring down in bladders and we bottle it at the American
Okay.
Canyon facility.
Gotcha.
And that's our Point North. It's a 5-year project. And the 2013 we're shipping now is our current vintage.
So that's kind of a success story of being able to make such quality wines. So I really like the Sauvignon Blanc. It's very fresh.
Thank you.
It's very live. It's got good flavors. It's, you know, it's a great seafood. Sauvignon Blanc. Oysters, clams, well, eggplant.
Go great with salads.
Yes, go great with salads,
Yep.
all that. By the way, just so I don't forget, Mike's Cafe and Wine Bar. Did I do that right?
You did.
And this isn't, by the way, you've seen us shoot over in the other room where you have the street behind us. So Mike has really made a nice area in here. Big screen TV, nice bar, beautiful bar. And he's allowed me to shoot many episodes in his place. And by the way, I don't want to make his head too big, but this is a great place to eat. It's all vegan, but amazing food and great place to get really good beer and wine. And for those of you who are getting tired of going down to the local bar and not finding a place during the football games, he's got a great TV here
Yes,
to
he
watch
does.
football. And you can watch Seahawks beat Dallas this Sunday.
Well,
So there
that's
you go.
unfortunate.
Anyway, just a little plug for Mike. We got to do that.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Stan.
Yeah, I take it he's not a Seahawks fan, so.
Dallas Cowboys, America's team. It's Arkansas's team too.
Hey, by the way, just a little side fact.
It's Arkansas's
It very
team
much
too.
is.
By the way,
It very much is.
just a little side fact, Stuart. You know who declared Dallas America's team? Donald Trump.
Wow.
Just so you know. All right, we're going to move on to
We'll
the.
leave it at that.
I think so.
This is also
2014.
$12, 2014 Central
Correct.
Coast Chardonnay,
Yep,
4 barrels.
that's correct.
Okay.
We make a pretty good amount of this wine. It's become incredibly popular for us.
Got it? Cool.
And to tell you a little bit about this wine stand,
Okay.
it's 100% Chardonnay. We do essentially half in the barrel and half in stainless.
Okay.
So the barrel side we put through the secondary malolactic fermentation. The stainless side we don't.
Oh,
We age
interesting.
those lots separately and blend them back together again. So, you know, Central Coast, predominantly Monterey, but Paso sourcing in there as well, so pretty tropical fruit driven. But I always like to say there's a happy medium here of oak versus the stainless steel.
That's cool. I've not
think
run
it-
across too many wineries that actually do that.
I think it, you know,
Process.
exactly, and I think it keeps, that really is a big glass.
Thank you.
Can we get a close up of that glass there?
Yeah.
This is why the cameraman is just so happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Always. The glass is half full here. I'm very happy.
So yeah, you definitely get that buttery, little bit of oak on it,
You do, yeah, you know, pretty tropical.
but you can still smell the lime, pineapple
There's
notes.
definitely some fresh citrus in there.
Yes.
I mean, $12 for the Sauvignon Blanc, I think it's just an amazing deal.
You know, some creaminess in the mid palate. You know, hints of butter there, but still some crispness, some restraint on the finish. So, you know, that's really a Chardonnay that you can enjoy that second glass of.
That's like I call that an 85% Chardonnay. 85% of the people will like it because it has that oak characteristic, but at the same time it's fresh.
It's so light.
Yeah.
It doesn't dominate the fruit.
No,
Yeah,
not at all.
absolutely. So, I think that enough of that sort of that creamy, buttery characteristic that keeps those oak lovers happy. But if you're looking for something with restraint, you know, that has those elements too.
Yeah, I mean, if you can strike that balance for what, $12? That's
It's
a
a
really
winner.
good chard.
It's
a-
So for those of you looking for a good chard in that price, and you said 50 states, so this is readily available.
This is a good production for
Okay.
us, absolutely.
So do you actually go in any chains at all? I mean, are you in,
we really don't.
you don't?
We
You
really
stay
don't.
to bottle shops?
bottle shops.
Or shops like
you know,
mine
some
where we're-
smaller chain grocery in
Yeah.
some states, you know, there's 3 or 4 maybe to the chain.
Right.
We do something with Whole Foods, they become a good partner for us.
Okay,
We like Whole
well,
Foods.
that's a pretty big chain.
They take the margin up versus down though, that's
Yeah.
what's most important versus, you know, a Safeway or a Costco that really drives,
Oh,
drives the
Yeah,
price
you don't
down.
go to
That's-
Total Wine or,
no, absolutely not, that's
Yeah.
really what we're trying to avoid.
cool, so yeah,
That way you can be confident, Stan, when you price it at the right price.
yeah, well, yeah, they're great wines, they stand on their own actually, so that's really what counts.
Very good.
And this, I just have to give, this Sean Miner Carneros Pinot at the tasting event that I did was out, I mean, how many bottles did we go through at that? We must have went through 5 bottles of it. Because people just kept coming back. I think we sold like 20 cases of just this wine.
Wow,
Uh,
fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was very, very popular. So I brought it in, and it's still been a very steady wine for me. And you're going up against a pretty impressive
Absolutely.
Pinot Noir section.
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously you're well represented from Oregon and from California, I'm
Mhm.
sure, and quite possibly from Burgundy as well. And we have a French section in there as well.
You know, actually, believe it or not, and in our store, we have very difficult time selling Burgundy. And it's just, I think it's just the demographics, the people that come to the store. You know, like we sell a lot of Paul Hobbs Pinot Noir at $60 a bottle. It's not cheap, but we sell a lot of it. We sell a lot of your wine. We sell, of course, the dominant part of our section is Oregon. And we sell the North Point, which you also,
Point
is your
North, right.
Point North, okay. Which is also part of your portfolio.
Yes, it is, very much
Yeah.
so.
Actually, that does really well at the store also.
Good,
So,
Yeah, I think that's a great quality wine at the price point. So what you have in your glass now is Sean Miner Carneros Pinot. This is 2012. We're very well known for this production, for this wine.
alright, perfect.
As
This
you
is
know,
$20,
$20 on the shelf. As you
And
know,
at Whole Foods, it's probably 24.
possibly, possibly.
Nothing, I like Whole Foods. I was just kidding.
Yeah, you know, they do like their margin.
Yeah.
This is true. As you know, Carneros, you know, straddles Napa and Sonoma counties.
Mhm.
This is a blend of both sides. It's about 60% from the Napa side, 40% from the Sonoma side. We actually, this is the wine that our rosé Seigneur Vengris comes from. So 24 hours on the skins, we bleed off a portion, and the remaining juice sits on the skins for another 48 hours, which becomes this wine. So it's really kind of a little bit more concentrated as a result
Yes.
of pulling off that
Okay.
Seigneur. Sadly, we won't be making the Vengris rosé this year with the lower yields that this
Yeah.
vintage is producing or has produced. We need to keep everything on the skins to really focus on our,
Sure.
our Pinot Noir production. But I think this is a great example of Pinot from the appellation. You know, we do a Four Bears Pinot, which is predominantly Central Coast, which is a very sort of red fruit driven Pinot. This I think is a little bit more prolific on the blue fruit as well, in addition to the red fruit. A little bit more of that earthiness. It sees a longer time in the barrel. There's a lot longer finish to the wine.
So you mentioned the yield being down. You know, obviously the drought is affecting everybody in California, although right now you're getting some rain. How much less?
You know,
In terms of tons, you think it has to be substantial if you're saying you're not even going to do a rosé.
It's a geographic thing depending on where you are. The yields can be more negative, if you will, in terms of decreased amounts. I know that the Paso area has seen a huge decrease in production, and also Sonoma County as well. I've heard some areas of Sonoma down as much as 60%.
Is it berries per cluster or size of berries?
Size of berries. I think it's both actually. Is that me or you? That's you. I think we're in a pretty good position. I couldn't tell you exactly, you know, what kind of percentage we're down at, but I know we feel pretty confident. But
the size of berries, the smaller berries that make better wine.
You've got great,
Yeah.
you've got great quality fruits. No
Yeah,
question
sure.
about that, but definitely low yields.
Yeah.
And a very, very early harvest. And I think
Which is-
I think
Honestly, it's not a bad thing because there's a lot of wine available out of California.
there
And
is.
I know they might use this as an
Yeah.
excuse to raise their pricing. I know some wineries, probably not Sean Miner based on his reputation, but it's too bad because they really need to move quite a bit of wine. I mean,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and I know that the rain is coming now. They
Let's hope
prefer snow.
You know more. You know more than I. You've obviously heard
Well, the Pineapple
weather
Express,
report.
yeah.
Well, the Pineapple Express definitely delivered last year. That's for sure, and the year before. So we'll see what. Everyone's prediction obviously is a wet year with El Nino. We'll see what it ends up producing, but we definitely need it. That's for sure.
And this, what I love about this wine, it has great balance. I mean, there's obviously solid fruit. You definitely get a lot of fruit, a lot of dark cherry, and a little bit of strawberry, maybe a little bit of the blue fruit. But and it has that nice. The beauty of this Pinot Noir, and one of the reasons that I really liked it is it has that kind of earthiness to it that
Definitely.
a lot of the bigger fruity Pinot Noirs kind of lose that characteristic. This has that earthiness.
It captures the earth for sure.
Yeah, definitely
Both
captures
spice.
Yeah.
And in your palate, in your mouth, you're tasting both. You can literally, it's not like one hits you early, one hits you late. You're going
Yeah.
back and forth. You can taste the earth and then the strawberries and then back to the earth. It's a fun one to play with in your mouth.
And good acid on the finish too.
Great
which is
acidity.
really-
Yeah,
which
great
is
balance
really
of
good.
flavor.
Always hard to attain all those elements for $20. That's really a steal.
Well, Sean's philosophy has always been, I guess everyone's philosophy when they embark on a wine project is to produce the best wine possible. And Sean's was definitely that, but also to achieve, great value. And I really think he's exceeded. Those
Absolutely. For
expectations.
$20, that's.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
good?
Yeah, these values, you must be in a lot of on-premise places
We do very well on
Yeah,
premise.
that's what he said. he
because
does
of the
a lot.
value.
These
So,
wines are really priced to sell, absolutely. So we're going to finish off with kind of a fun wine. This is our red blend. You can call it the Meritage, if you will. It does contain 2 Bordeaux varietals. We used to do a Merlot from the Napa Valley. Everybody loved our Merlot. The reality was we didn't sell enough of it. As soon as we stopped making it, everybody said,
Yeah.
why did you stop making it?
So I'm just going to tell him the blend on this.
Absolutely.
And which, by the way, kudos to Sean Miner for putting the blend on the back. It's one of my pet peeves.
We put it on the front too.
Yeah, I saw that. But wineries many times will leave that off, and it's like so frustrating. Not only for the writers like myself, bloggers, when I work at the store, obviously sell wine, but for the consumer.
They're looking for that identity. Absolutely.
So this is 52% Merlot, 21% Zin, 17% Petit Syrah, and 10% Petit Verdot.
wow.
Mike, you want to give it show it a little love on the label. So this is also $20, $24 if you shop at Whole Foods. Just kidding.
You're never going into Whole Foods again, Stan.
No, I mean, I'm being facetious because, it's probably $21, I would imagine. I'm gonna go find out.
What was that?
I'm gonna go find out.
You would need to stay out of this one, Stan. I would say, just a recommendation.
I should never have gone there.
No, that's all right. I'm just messing around. Whoever watches this show knows Mike, you know.
Whole Foods has a tremendous wine selection.
They do.
And that's part of the price of a tremendous wine selection.
Well, and one of the wine guys that sells to me now was a wine buyer at Whole Foods. And I've been in many Whole Foods. I love them. I think they're a great store. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do not overcharge. They just charge appropriately.
There you go. Diplomatically said, they
Yeah.
charge appropriately.
Yeah, they do.
So we have this great Merlot in the barrel, predominantly from Rutherford area, and Sean decided to blend it with some of his favorite lots from the cellar. So we blended in some Zinfandel, some Petit Syrah, and some Petit Verdot. This is our lush, rich red wine.
It smells like Madagascar vanilla beans to me.
It's definitely some great vanilla in there. I think
You like that?
Merlot really had.
Well, I was going more for the East
I
African
don't know. I
vanilla beans because Madagascar has that earthiness that I don't
That's
catch.
what I was looking for.
Right, yeah. Just the wrong area for vanilla.
I said that.
It might have been the one that the
No.
monkey ate and
No,
went out
hold on
his.
just a minute. I was reading the Wine Spectator description. He goes, Kenya double-A coffee bean. And I go, why don't you just say coffee bean?
Right.
I mean, because I couldn't tell you the difference between vanilla out of a shilling bottle and Madagascar.
I believe that.
Yeah.
So I think
Boy,
Merlot
yeah.
really had a
And now,
chance
now the cherries coming through.
I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
Merlot really had a chance to really flourish and really express itself in 2012 to really become that lush, velvety, style, but it should.
2012 all up and down the West Coast was
Absolutely,
just
but it
beautiful.
really should exude.
Yeah.
And so I think you've really got that nice, lush, rich velvetiness to the wine. You've got some nice spice from the zinfandel, from the oak. You've got that great black fruit from the Petit Verdot and the tan structure.
Yeah, that Petit Verdot is the winemaker's putter.
It really is.
You drive with the Merlot, but you putt with the Petit Verdot.
Yep.
You can quote me
Well
on that,
said.
Stan.
Nice tannic structure on the backside of this.
Yeah, some nice.
By the
fruit
way,
wine.
just as a shout out to decanting, just in the, 3 minutes this has been in a glass, that vanilla bean went away and the fruit started coming to life.
Has a nice
On the nose.
polish, a nice mouthfeel too. That's what I like about some of the Petit Syrah. It gives that lusciousness flow, full mouthfeel.
Yeah, long finish.
Yeah.
Very well structured wine. That's nice balance of acid, fruit, tannins. I guess you get a great wine. Actually, of all of these, this is probably the predominantly most obvious food wine. I mean, this would benefit from some food.
It would. It
Yeah.
would. It's got a little bit of that grit.
It's got a little bit of action going on. It's got the
It does, for
tannins,
sure.
good acidity. But you could drink this by itself,
Mhm.
but it would definitely be better with food.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that.
I mean, instantly, it would.
Portobello burger comes right
Yeah.
to your mind, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Absolutely.
I think, so what you're saying is these are all going to make a great addition to your set.
Absolutely. They will be part of my set.
Annalisa's got her pen and paper.
Look at this sales rep. He's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You like them. It's on video now, so you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what
Stuart.
to expect coming here today, but I've really enjoyed myself.
Good, good. Thank you, and thanks for being part of the show.
Absolutely, thank you.
You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollar wisely. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.